What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 10K on the Bay, my journey to 10,000 live listing. Today is eBay Reseller Open Chat with Catherine's Closet. And we do this show every week, and we have guests Hustlebee and Greg. What's going on? His Instagram handle is dryscale_TM. I'll put it in the description for everyone to check it out. And we're just going to talk about random stuff tonight and just making a healthy, reasonable, peaceful living on eBay. And I made the title how to make 100K peacefully, and I just put basically in the description, if you can find, list, and sell 3 items a day that are $100 profit, and that's all you did all day, that'd be a relatively peaceful eBay existence. You would need the skill to find those items, but the listing and shipping part would be relatively easy. What do you guys think?
100% agree on that one.
That's like the ideal. Like that's what everyone just wants to do. But for me, sometimes I find it so much easier to just, like, it's more work to list smaller quantity items, but like smaller value items. But I don't know, I think it's more fun. And I just don't like, when I think of big value things, I think of shoes, Ken and Chris, and then like electronics, and I'm just not good at either of those. Like it would take a lot for me to start like learning about it and to have enough knowledge to be able to find a good flip to even make money off of that $100. But it is the ideal existence. I actually know it would be like one item for $1,000 a day would probably be the ideal existence. But
that's true. I met this gentleman that only flips dental equipment. And he doesn't have, there are no items in his store that he makes less than $1,500 profit. Like, and on top of that, every single item ships freight.
That's insane.
It's like a huge pain in the ass, but he's like, there's zero competition. Who wants to sell dental equipment? Like, it's hard. And like, it's one of those deals where every single one requires work beyond just like click buy it now. You've got to make sure it's the right model, the right sizing that it's going to fit in their office. You have to explain how to get it into their building. But I mean, the margins are huge and everything is really expensive. I think his average sale price is like $4,500.
That's ridiculous.
Insane.
I'm honestly surprised that that stuff sells like on eBay. I would figure most of that would be like you buy it new. I just never thought about it.
That's right. No. And Greg hasn't been on a call with us yet, but he might be taking a break right now because his video is turned off. But Ken, what do you think about average sale price over this year? Has it gone up for you?
Yeah. My last calculation is I'm at 80 already, and my main goal was trying to get to that 100.
Awesome, $100. And Catherine, what do you think? Are you you think you're gonna be in the model where you want to get really good at what you do, or are you gonna like slowly increase your average sale price over time?
I don't know. It's a love-hate sort of thing. So I would love to be able to just get really good at what I do, but that's, it's also a lot more work to list $120 items than the reverse, where it's worth a lot more money and you're having to list less. So I definitely think it's a balance. And I also still haven't like quite figured out what my long-term is with reselling, besides just being like a part-time idea. Like if I did stick with getting really good at what I know, then the ideal situation would be to at one point get listers so that I'm really good at what I do and I don't have to spend all that time listing, which was the only real negative of it. But I still haven't decided. I mean, right now I'm just doing it as a part-time during college. So, I mean, that's all future stuff.
Sure. Greg, what do you think? Over time, are you going to try to increase your average sale price, or increase the volume, or both, or what's the strategy?
So I'm sourcing as much as I can. I mean, I can afford right now to source 30 items a day. That's how much my store is generating in terms of sales. That allows me to pay for the Patreon group, also pay for my basic eBay store. But the bottleneck that I ran into right now is listing. Like I get up at 5, I go to work, I come home, I list for like 35 to 40 minutes on the way home. I've got a few spots that I go to, and then I come home, I make dinner, and get the kids to bed, and then I take my pictures and list as much as I can. At most, I can get 20 items in before 2 a.m. So my goal is to be able to scale to the point where I can list faster and list enough so that I can grow out of this initial crazy just chasing everything, trying to get stuff done. That's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to see past.
I was going to ask, do you sell 20 items a day yet?
No, the most I've sold a day is 5.
Okay.
But I sell between 3 and 5 a day.
Eventually, your sales will catch up to your hustle, and you might be at the point where you're buying and selling 20 items a day. That's like kind of like level 1, maxing out your time.
Right.
And I know a few sellers that are at that range. I know 2 sellers that buy and sell and ship 15 items a day before work or after work in one little eBay time slot, so they can like get all of it done at one point. One is like Luke, Endless Entrepreneurs. Before work every day, he does shipping, listing, and everything. And just the time slot before work is the only time he has to work on eBay. So trying to get as much done in that time slot. I mean, you can only do it so long. I mean, you can only do it for so many hours in a day, especially if you have other commitments and you have to make dinner. What about meal prep? Would that give you another hour a day?
So I make, I've started making a lot of casseroles and large batches of soup. I can make one meal that'll last 2 days. So that gives me time to listing and or sourcing depending upon what I need to do that day. Gotcha.
This is cool. This is like a day in the life of a reseller. Catherine, what does your day look like? When do you drop off your packages at the union, or how's that work?
Yeah, so basically I see what I sold that day, and that kind of decides what time I'm going to wake up. And usually I wake up at just 6 every day, and I have a little wiggle room before I leave at like 7:30, and I ship all my items in the morning. And then I put them in a bag, and in between my first and second class, I walk to the student union where they have a UPS store that also pick the USPS and FedEx actually both pick up from there. So I drop them off in the morning, and then they get picked up that same day.
Ken, what's your day look like?
Well, my day looks pretty relaxed now already, but let's go back to when I started. When I started, I was already up by 7 a.m. I would drive 2 hours to get to the first store. So I would start from the furthest. So I do retail arbitrage. I would drive to the furthest and then drive on my way back. So I go kind of like a circle. So I'm at my first store at 9 a.m. I usually try to hit 15 stores a day. So that's just, that's maxing out until they close to 9 a.m. 9 p.m. So as soon as I get back, my wife helps me with listings. She actually does a lot of the listings. I actually just unload everything and stuff like that. Help her set up the photo and everything. And then pretty much we start shipping at night. We start boxing everything at night, and we drop it off early in the morning. So we have some drop boxes that we just put in there. So that's how my usual day. And a lot of out of town travel for us when we started. But now it's been pretty kind of like relaxing already after that 6-month sprint that we did.
No, that's awesome. It's good to get a schedule going because then it becomes a little bit easier. I don't want to do any listing after 4 p.m. So I wake up at 4, I do workout, then from 6 till 8:30, Monday through Friday, I have mastermind calls. And then I list from 9 till noon. and from 1 till 4. I do 3-hour sprints, and I try to list 100 items in 3 hours with a helper during those 3-hour sessions. And then the photography part I have set up, I need to find a person to help me with drafting. And then I'll have the 100, those 2 sets of 100 going up, and I can spend either the day sourcing, but I'm really interested in like learning about private label, making my own products, other streams of income that I want to work on. But for right now, I'm just saving money. So I'm doing the drafting while he's doing the photographing. And that's been working really well. It's almost the same every day. The only thing I haven't been disciplined about is turning off everything between 9 and noon and 1 to 4. My phone should just be off. It should just be working for 6 hours, grinding it all out. And then at 4 o'clock, I come on to YouTube, hang out with people. And then afterwards, I'd like to be 100% girlfriend time. That's ideal, but I don't know if that's going to happen, because what ends up happening every single day is I didn't get the stuff done I was supposed to during the day. So it just floods into the end of the day. So when I'm with her, I try to make sure my phone is in her purse. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking at it because I'm just going to be looking at what's going on, and I need to try to separate the best I can to try to keep some sanity. Otherwise, eBay takes over your life. I'm also super lucky. No kids, no pets, right? 1 plant. So not a lot of overhead as far as that. And then I want to move towards meal prep, but right now all I do is vegetables and like salmon or chicken and throw it into the oven, and that's it. So, or greens. I'm trying to simplify it. So I'm trying to eat like only 20 different meals. I know 20 meals is a lot for some, but I'm Asian. Asian people have a lot of variety. So 20 different meals for me is considered not a lot of variety.
Right.
So,
and here's the crazy thing I want to share about like scheduling, right? I mean, I think this is a really good perspective, because in my part, I am terrible at schedules. I am terrible at following a routine. I am the kind of guy that wants some action. So I guess I'm just, that I would say like that go-getter kind of guy every day. So for me, what I've, because I think the only experience that I had with a schedule was me working for a 9-to-5 job. And I guess that's why it hasn't worked for me, because I hated every bit of it. I only had 1 job ever, and the rest of my life was just, as I wake up in the morning, that's how my day starts. I hustle, and then when I feel like everything's closed and I couldn't make any more money today, I go to bed. So that has been my routine since I was 16. So, 11 years of that. So for me, scheduling for me doesn't work a lot, but for me, I have big tasks. I have 3 big tasks for the day, and that's it. And everything small task around it, I add on to it. So I really don't like something. I mean, like Chris has like a really like turn off phone and everything like that. I wake up in the middle of the night when I hear a ka-ching, when I hear a message on eBay and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me at all. I feel like it's, like I have created a life that I am 100% happy within it. I guess it's just something that I have found that's so much fun. I haven't had so much fun ever since I, began my entrepreneurial journey since eBay. Since eBay came to, to our life.
No, I mean, I've never had this much fun either. Everything is fun right now. Reselling is fun. Sourcing is fun. I think listing is fun. All of the different parts of eBay are fun. Sometimes I shouldn't be trolling my customers, but that's fun to me too. So customers are like, hey, I'll pay immediately. They lowball me and say, hey, how about 30 for this $80 pair of shoes? I'll pay immediately. And then I'll respond back, $75.99 plus shipping. Thank you for the offer. Immediate payment not required. The unpaid item case won't close for 11 days or something. Or something sarcastic that's not necessary. But for me, it's fun. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll treat people more nicely. But it's fun for me. And it's better than, I've been in sales my entire life. And when you're in sales, it's like being lowballed for 8 straight hours.
Right.
So this is nothing. I've done a lot of businesses. eBay is the easiest business because somebody else did the hard work of making that product amazing. All you have to do is go find it. Somebody did the hard work already. So what do you think, Greg?
I feel like it's just like I call myself just a modern day fisherman. I just go out and fish and then come back, sell the fish, and some I eat, and then we'll do it again tomorrow.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Greg, what do you think?
Well, I mean, what as into like why I'm doing this?
Or I mean, like, is it enjoyable for you? Do you feel like you're really disciplined with scheduling, or what do you think? Is it a lifestyle?
It's fascinating learning the different brands and you know, like my wife has gotten into it too. At first, my wife wasn't really into this, but now she's starting to see. I mean, we're almost at $1,000 in sales. We'll probably hit it either tonight, or tomorrow.
Nice.
Total sales since I started, so not like crazy in a day or anything, but but no, yeah, I mean it's exhilarating. I don't get to see my phone during the daytime, and I don't really get to check my internet during the daytime or my eBay store during the daytime. So when I get off work, turn on my phone, like 10, 20 messages from eBay, all at once saying item sold, new offer received, or whatever. And so that's exhilarating. I just got my inventory system started. So that's fun. I mean, this has been exciting because it's the only time that I've been able to actually put effort towards something and then get paid directly for the effort that I've done. I mean, sure, I've been 9-to-5 jobs. I was in the Army for 12 years. And, I get paid for the tasks that I'm fulfilling, but this has been the only time that I've actually directly been able to affect that by the amount of effort that I put into it and see a tangible gain from it, if that makes any sense.
I mean, this is one of the few businesses, just like you said, where you get almost exactly what you put into it. And you make your money when you buy it for the most part, right? So you are correct on that. Like, there's so many other businesses that you put a lot of R&D into or initial investment. You can start an eBay business with zero money, just selling stuff out of your garage. So, Catherine, how did you fund the initial part of your business?
Just money I had. I just, whatever I had in my bank account. I didn't really set any aside or anything. I went over to the thrift store and started looking and tried and looked up everything on my phone, looked up brands I knew were good but didn't know the value, brands I knew were bad but figured what the heck anyway, and I looked everything up. And I still do. Like, every time I go to a thrift store, even if I'm pretty sure about it, I take my whole basket, go to a corner where people aren't trying to like walk around me and drive me nuts, and I just go through items one by one and check through them. And if I have the slightest inkling it's good when I see it on the rack, I'll throw it in my cart because it can't hurt, and it's not like I'm competing with anyone, but I know I'll lose it. Like, I know I won't remember where it was. I don't want to have to try and go search for it again. So I just look through things one by one, and now I've actually been experimenting with like how I keep my eBay money, and since I took a large amount of it out for my dog's vet bill a while back, which was actually like really exciting because it was one of the first times like I used the money I had been working for on eBay to do something it was a big bill. It was like $300. So it was nice to be able, like, that made me more invigorated about eBay, because before it just sat in my PayPal. And, I was like, oh yeah, the money's there. Like, I have the money, but it was nice to be able to kind of dedicate it to something that it needed to be dedicated to. That was a very large bill that kind of came out of nowhere. So, but yeah, and now I've been keeping it all in my PayPal, and I keep a spreadsheet of what I spend on sourcing, but I want to keep my PayPal clean and it be only eBay stuff so I can kind of keep track of it better.
Greg, how did you get started? Like, what did you use to start as starting capital?
$16. I pulled $20 out of the ATM. I was in a really bad situation financially. We were behind on a few bills. And a lot of that was my fault because of just habits that I had at the time. But so I pulled $20 at the ATM. I went to the Goodwill, and I found a pair of calf length suede faux leather Uggs, and got paid $4 for them, thinking I paid $4 for them and got a few shirts and a pair of jeans, and that's what I listed on eBay. Those Uggs sold for $16 to San Francisco, so the buyer paid $16 plus like $13 shipping. My startup capital, and then from there it was finding stuff around the house. I went through like a week period where I couldn't think of anything to sell, and then I was like, you know, I didn't have money in PayPal, and I told my wife that I wasn't going to use any of our own income to do this. So everything I've done has been organically for that initial 6. And so from there, I've started to list a lot of my old military gear. And I had just sold a Memphis audio amp that I've had since I was 16. I've been in storage ever since then. I sold that for $90. A few initial things, and then it's just been picking up from there. I've been picking up some shorts and some capri shorts for like I said, $49, and they're selling for $15, $20. So, but yeah, that was my start.
Awesome. Ken, well, how did you start?
Well, I started because I quit my job about a year ago, and I was really going to well, the only reason why I took that job because we just moved here about 4 years ago, and I still need to I was processing all my residency, my immigration papers and stuff like that, and I got a job from a call center company, and then after a year got promoted, became a supervisor, and then after that I just didn't love waking up at 8 in the morning, especially during winter times here in Cincinnati. It was just such a pain. And so one day September last year, we went to Topsail, North Carolina with my friends, and I love every bit of it. You know, it reminded me of my life back in the Philippines, that I just woke up whenever I wanted to, and I just woke up when I had something important to do. And after I came back, I resigned right away. And for that 3 months, I was dabbling around. For the first 3 months, I was just basically Ubering. I was Ubering, and so how I did it, I was just Ubering, and I was just asking people what they did for a living. So I basically was just doing a market study in Cincinnati area, like what are these people doing? And then the other question that I would ask them, like, do you love what you do? Do you plan to do this for the rest of your life? Well, I realized that almost like 95% of everybody that I met hated what they were doing. So I started looking into, you know, self-development and everything like that, and really, you know, I've been following Gary Vee and everything like that. I saw his garage sales and stuff like that, but I was just like afraid to do garage sailing. And then all of a sudden I was just following the hashtag 2017 flip challenge, and then I ran into Glenn, the Hustler Hacks, and I followed his YouTube channel, watched all his YouTube channel every night, and I was still Ubering so every time, you know, like there's a dead spot during the night where everybody's eating or something like that, I would just watch his YouTube video until I get another passenger. So I did that, and you know, I said like, oh, I love shoes. I was collecting shoes and everything, and after that, I sold a lot of my personal collection from my shoes. Sold a lot of my you know, corporate dress shirts and stuff like that. And I came up with $500 and went to a Nike outlet, and pretty much spent like $350 on that day, and start flipping from there. And my model was just to double my money. And then I realized that it was easy. It was fairly easy. And then I did that, and then I start growing it and growing it. So now my target profit per item is $50 per item now. So last week I just hit, my average was $47 profit per item. So that's how I started, and then just fell in love with the whole process. Like you guys say, you know, you get what you put in it. You know, with me and Chris's mastermind when we started, and I was just saying I want to get to the 1,000 items to max out my premium store and to get that 100,000 listings. And we start computing average sale price and everything. So I sprinted to it and got there last month. So now I feel like with the inventory that I have now, I don't have to source for the next 3 to 4 months.
No, that is an interesting point. To a certain level. We have some feedback. Who has feedback? Let's see here. Maybe you guys could go on mute. But as far as getting to a certain level of inventory, I think that really does matter. And I think that if you guys can get $50,000 worth of stuff listed, then you can pretty comfortably make $1,000 a week. That's just my opinion. If you can get $50,000 worth of stuff listed, even if 20% of it sells, so 10,000 of it sells each month, and half's profit, that's 5,000. That's 60 grand a year. That's the median income in the United States. You should be able to do okay, but you have to work your butt off to get to that 60,000 listed. I'll tell you guys a couple of things that can speed it up. Because people are always saying, how do I make that faster? Well, there's basically 2 ways to make it go faster. You either need to sell stuff that's higher margin. So buy something for $1, sell it for 100. You do that a few times, your revenue will go super high. Or you can turn over stuff super fast. You guys will watch the mastermind call with Prince on Mondays. He's turned a couple $1,000s into 100 grand listed from just because his items never last longer than 1 month. So imagine getting all your money back within 1 month, only selling stuff that sells right away. Or like if you guys follow my Husky store, that store I started with $200 and it has 40,000 listed because I got lucky with the cause release of those t-shirts and posters. When it first started, I was listing it and then they were selling so fast, I was going back to the store like 5, 6, 7 times a day. And you just got to be ready when those opportunities happen. And I also had the PayPal. I had PayPal jail. If it wasn't for PayPal jail, I could have probably made $10 in a week on that account because of when you find hype, you just got to go all in at that point. And that's why there's so many more Amazon people that make money. Guys, if you want to be an online reseller, way more people make 6 figures on Amazon than eBay. It's like not even funny. It's like 100 to 1. And the reason is because people who sell stuff on Amazon generally keep their day job and they find something really hot and they spend 50 to 100 grand on it. It's not unusual to be able to flip your max credit card limit 2-3 times during a Q4 if you can sell a certain items. Like no one ever says, like last year, how could I get rid of all these like Hatchimals or Nintendos right when they came out? Those are so hot. I mean, they're selling thousands a day of the same product, and you don't need to even offer a discount. You can price your own market, and it will sell. All right, cool. So, Catherine, let's talk about some home runs. Have you sold anything recently that's awesome?
Oh gosh, I have some stuff listed that I think is like the coolest, but they're really unique, so I'm not expecting them to go fast. I'm trying to think of any like home runs. Generally, I pay really low prices for nearly everything, kind of to to the point I really hate paying more than let's say like $2 or $3 unless it's really good.
Right. Which
is like that's a big difference between Chris and I. Is that I pay really low cost for everything, but I'm not finding like great pieces. I find some really nice pieces, but it's not constant. But since I pay so little for it, I don't really mind. Because like today, I went thrifting, just like a short little trip. I think I got probably 10 things and I paid $20 for all of them only because one of them was a coat. So it's stuff like that. I don't really think I have any home runs though. Like now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, actually, so I've always wanted, I always have been interested in running my own business thing. And for a while I did Jamberry, which was like a Mary Kay sort of thing, except for nails. And I tried it a long time ago. And I had a bunch of old inventory because I stopped and I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like having to buy stuff from them to resell. I don't know, I didn't enjoy it at all. But I still had a bunch of the old nail wraps and stuff. So I think there were 30 of them. And I remember they retailed for 15 a piece, but I only paid like $6 or something because I was it was a long time ago, and I got 50% off because I sold them. And I put them up for auction, and I was like, let's just see how it goes. And I think I sold it for $160. And I did free shipping because they're like, all of them was like this tall and they were under a pound. So I paid $3 on free shipping. So I think, and the money, I mean, it was such a long time ago. I just considered it profit for my current eBay store. But yeah, that's my biggest sell, definitely.
So I'm going to talk about this real quick, and I'm going to have Hustlebee chime in. When you sell on eBay, ideally you can sell in a category that has some home runs, because you need home runs to finance your thing. Like I just sold a diesel jacket for $375. Like that helps a lot. And I sold that record play for $528. You need to sell stuff that once in a while you get a huge home run, because that it's like you can buy like 250 more items with that $500.
Yeah.
And it really is just like super, super leveling up. So if you're going to sell in the clothing category, look at everything. Teach yourself all the brands, because I found like when you're at like cheaper, more low income areas, when I'm looking at different thrift stores, you can get a better deal on items, but there's less good stuff. When you go to a higher end area, everything's a lot more expensive, but like spending $200 to make $375 on that jacket was worth it for me. But can you imagine spending $200 on a single item, especially clothing, right? Yeah. But you have to really think, okay, it's going into the cold season right now. It's the right style. It's in style. There's a lot of solds. There's no competition, right? So I priced it at $375, and there are 8 other jackets at $400, and mine sold, and theirs been sold. So that's the way to really. Got to have a couple of home runs that really funnel you. What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, 100%. That's how I was able to scale my business. Without the home runs, I would probably be still at 50,000 inventory right now. With my category with shoes, is a lot of times people, settle for the double their money. What my strategy was is I actually researched more, right? I did all my research. I looked at sold listings. I followed all the Instagram people, and I started seeing all this high-end soccer cleats and football cleats that they were seeing at Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington Coat Factory. So my main strategy was to look for home runs. And if I don't find home runs, I find the second tier. I go for the $30 profit. I go for the $20 profit. So I was just laser focused, and I think Chris could attest to it, because when I was starting, I was just looking for that $150 profit shoe. And there was 2 instances that it was actually when I went to meet up with Chris in Chicago, when we had that pizza night. I went there, and I actually went out there a day early. I went there a day early and sourced Chicago a day early, and I actually found about 20 pairs of shoes that I sold for $160 each, an average, because some sold for over 180. So if we average out about 160 each, and I only paid $16.99 for them. So those were actually high-end football cleats that they retail for $250. So yeah, definitely home runs. For me, it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of like out there to the right. I'm just so risky. I would go drive and look for home runs. And then if I can't find home runs, then I'll settle for $50 profit. I'll settle for $40 profit. I'll settle for $20 profit. So that's my main thing. I mean, I'm just really shooting high. And then if I miss, I'm still going to get the $40, $50 profit margin.
And this is something that I've heard from so many people, which is you build your business with replenishables, but you build your margin with one-off home runs. So you need both. Like as you continue and you grow, you actually need to have replenishables. Ken will pick up 10 of the same shoe. That helps a lot, right? And I tried that. I tried buying 4 pallets of stuff from Goodwill, all junk. Like it doesn't matter. Let's get it all on the eBay and it'll all sell. And I had a lot of older people say, Chris, instead of buying 4 pallets, you should buy 16 pallets and redonate 12 pallets of garbage. Don't list the garbage that's in those 4 pallets. Don't do it, but actually do it so that you can learn from it. You'll have a very painful experience and then you won't do that again. And that really was true for me. Like I'm making way more money cherry picking than I am with the junk. But here's the thing, junk still works. You just need to filter it. Like you have to, the process of it that I didn't understand was the sorting. You know, if you hire an expert person to come in, even at $100 an hour, and tell you which items to sell and which ones to redonate, you're going to save yourself so much time. Because when you hire listers and photographers and drafters, first of all, most people do not need help. You need to get to the point where you're listing 100 items by yourself on a week and actually selling items. Like Greg, right now, he's putting in the work, he's hustling, he's figuring out what works before he hires someone. Like if you're not making good sales on eBay, don't hire anybody yet, because you're actually making the problem worse, because now the person you've hired is making more money than you are. That can't be the case. Like
you guys are gonna be listing more crap
money than you already are, not less. So I learned that, and I think, you know, hopefully you guys can max out your current capacity first. I would love to see Greg get to the point where he's selling 15, 20 items a day before he hires somebody. But what do you think, Greg? Let me unmute you. Let's see. Why is it? How do you unmute somebody?
Maybe Greg has to do it.
Oh. Yeah, maybe he has to do it. Let's see. I guess I don't know how to unmute you. I will figure it out. Let's see. Catherine, any thoughts while I'm trying to figure the technical difficulties?
Okay. Improvisation, Catherine. Oh, I can tell that shipping story that I never got to tell, my USPS tragedy. So basically, in the beginning, I was getting my packages picked up. It was working great, but I did notice that they were coming at really like different times. Like it was not consistent at all, which was scary for me, because if someone could just like walk by and pick up the package and I wouldn't know if it was a postage worker or not, because it could have happened at 9 a.m. or, 7 p.m. So basically what happened was our post office closes at 4:30. And so it got to the point where they wouldn't have come by 4 o'clock. And I still do one day handling. So it got to the point where I had to make like this judgment call. Do I have to get up, drive 15 minutes to the post office in traffic so I can get these packages out? Or do I take the risk and get hit if they decide not to come? And so basically what happened was a couple of times it was 4 o'clock. I didn't know if they were coming, and I drove to the post office, which then led them to thinking that I was putting out requests for package pickup, and then they would come and there was no package, which was especially confusing because when I went to try and talk to the manager, I never did get to talk to a manager. I got to one of the workers who had worked there for a really long time, and she said that our route is only 2 hours long, so it gets like thrown to whoever has time. So we don't have a consistent postal worker, therefore, and on top of that, our post office, like I'm just gonna say, it sucks. Like it's awful. They do not, like the organization is bad. It is, which is weird because it's for such a large city. Like it's a capital city, you would think that they get their stuff together, but it's not. And on top of them sometimes not picking it up or showing up at crazy times. And when I say like crazy times, I mean sometimes they would come at 7 a.m. and sometimes a package wouldn't get picked up or delivered until like 9:30 p.m. So I had no way of knowing whether, because I never wanted to put them out the night before because it gets humid here. I didn't want the package to get wet. I didn't want it to rain. I didn't someone to take it. So I never knew whether I had to wake up, and this is before I was waking up at 6 every day. So I didn't know if I had to wake up at 6 or 6:45 to go put this package out, depending on where they came. So basically what happened was that I now just bring them to the union, luckily. But before that, I was driving to the post office because they never told me if the route was changing, when things were coming. There were some times where I did get hit with late shipments because they didn't come at all that day. And they tried to tell me that, oh, we came today, you know, the mail is delivered every day. But I was like, well, it's not, because my package was there for 24 hours. And anytime I try and tell them, they just tell me, you know, oh, well, did you have it out early enough? I was like, it was literally out there for 24 hours. Like, I promise this is not me. So, I mean, thank God I go to LSU now, and every day I can just drop them off. But that was a big frustration, definitely, because I never got an answer. Nothing ever got resolved. It was a mess. It drove me crazy. The post, like, I refuse to deal with it anymore unless I really have to go. Like if it's, I mean, I don't know when school's on break, I guess I'll have to go. But besides that, I'm going to avoid it at all costs, because that was like a 3-month fiasco. So yeah, that's my post office story.
You need some coffee before you tell the post office story. It's too long, Catherine.
Well, I didn't know how long it was going to take you. I mean.
No, that's a good story. No, that's a good thing to remember. Like, every single post office is different. And I just think, yeah.
And that's what, like, up in the beginning, whenever I was watching a YouTube video or I saw it on Instagram about how they get their packages picked up, and I didn't even know that existed because I'd never really mailed out packages. And if I did, I just went to the post office. Like, that's what you did. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, I will just leave my packages out on the front door. Someone's going to pick them up every day. I don't have to deal with it. And, like, I wish I'd never even heard of it, because it made my life so stressful, especially because, you know, I still never talked to the manager. Like, that blows my mind. I spent 3 months and every time they're like, oh, he's in a meeting. Oh, he's not here today. And I was like,
are you talking about the postmaster?
The postmaster.
The postmaster? Is that the name?
Yeah. You were probably looking for the wrong one.
The wrong one.
You keep asking for a manager. They didn't have any manager. That's why they keep telling you he's on a meeting.
Who's in charge? Because I need to talk to them.
You need a more commanding presence, Catherine. People just.
I was commanding that day. I promise you. I was commanding. I was very upset. And the issue, all of the people that work there, they're all older ladies. Yep. And they're very sassy and set in their ways. And, like, they gave me lip. Like, they don't even hold back. Like, if you try and bring in a package that's overweight or something, they will cut you down. Like, I'm never going there again. I swear. It's insane. It's like the sassiest post office you could ever walk into.
I think a lot of post office workers have sass. I mean, even today I dropped off some packages and she's like, don't you have a daily pickup? And I'm like, yeah, but the post office guy is complaining that his truck is too small. He doesn't want to pick up the packages. And she's like, you tell that guy, the postmaster said his job is to pick up those packages. I'm like, I'm not going to tell him that. He's going to keep our packages in the garbage can.
Yeah. See, that's not their attitude here.
I want to be nice.
That's not their attitude here. When I told them that, they said, oh, well, you know, they may not have gotten the form, or they may not have the excuses on top. And then in the beginning, I had issues with it, but there was one lady who came here nearly every day, and she wasn't getting the forms to tell her where to look up like look for packages and pick them up. But I had talked to her and she had said like, oh, I'll just check your door every day. And then she went and got surgery or something from what they told me. And she was gone for like 3 months. And then that's when it got like insane. So yeah, no more of that.
I live in a 3rd floor apartment and I made a mistake. I actually ordered like 200 boxes of some priority boxes. And then I thought they were just gonna leave it in the office or something like that, or had me give me a notice to pick it up in the post office, because that's what they usually give me. The actual mailman actually delivered 200 boxes in a three-story flight stairs.
Wow.
Out here. So it was literally covering my door. I couldn't get in my door. So he had to carry all of that. So now I feel bad. So
what the heck?
Yeah, so now I actually have to order 25 at a time because I really felt bad. Imagine doing that within your route. Somebody like some dude just orders 200 boxes.
Oh my gosh.
Do you guys do you think it's appropriate to tip a post office worker?
I don't think so. They make so much money. No,
I never
really,
see mine, so
I usually give them, you know, if I'm here, I usually offer bottled water or something.
Okay, that's nice to offer bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
I saw during Christmas time, I think I saw it on Pinterest or Facebook or something, but this, you know, because everyone's ordering packages for Christmas, so it's like insanity. And so this one woman put a little box out on her front door that said like, and it had snacks and bottled water, and it was like, take what you need. Thank you for delivering all of our packages.
Yep.
Dang.
Well, I'm gonna hook for sure this year. I'm gonna hook up my mailman. I'm gonna ask him what size he wear. I'm gonna buy him some new shoes.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, for carrying all of your freaking boxes.
Greg is back. Greg, how do you get stuff to the post office?
So I drop it off during my lunch hour at work. There's a post office not 5 minutes away from where I work, so I just drop it off on there. But I realized that as I'm selling 3 and 5 a day, I'm gonna start having a problem carrying stuff into the post office, and it looks really weird because it's on an army base. So I'm this guy that's a beer in a place, and I'm carrying eBay packages up to the post, getting a receipt for the item and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's it right now. My wife has said that she's taking stuff to the post office for me, so that and I can my wife along this, and so she's gonna start doing pictures. She's gonna start doing that I can't do while I'm at work. But yeah, to the post office, I do it.
Okay.
Where do you live?
Go ahead.
Fort Bragg.
Where? I'm sorry.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's not obviously here right now, but my boyfriend's in the Air Force and we're in Louisiana. So just when I heard you say base earlier, I figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those big rolling bins and roll it from my front door to the. I want it on a track so it just goes to the post office truck, so he doesn't have to walk up here and pick it up off my doorstep. Because I had packages stolen off my doorstep.
Right, I remember that.
Then he said, "Okay, we're not doing it anymore. We're gonna knock on the door and store your packages inside." And then I feel bad. He has to walk all the way up here, so I need to build a little track, and it's like a Christmas sled. Will go down to the thing and just unload itself into his truck. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because that's definitely hard for you, Chris, because you sell so much. Like my big day, like when I sell like $2,000 in a weekend, it's only like 15 to 18 packages.
Yeah, no, I have sometimes 100 packages. So like,
that's crazy.
So it's a small, yeah, it's multiple bins. But if I had a giant rolling bin, like a big laundry bin, that would be the way to do it.
A bin, like from the bins. Next time you go, just say, "Hey, can I have it?"
An actual
Can I
bin.
take this
Yeah, I
with
wonder how much they would charge for them.
What if they charged? How ironic would it be if they charged by the pound?
That would be very ironic if they charged the bin by the weight of it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the egg package was stolen, guys. Sorry about. There's been people asking about what happened to the package.
I'm still upset about that.
So they were. I think they were eaten by. I think it was wolves. I don't think they were stolen.
Chris is really determined that it was wolves.
Now I believe there were gators. They're in Florida, man. Come on, gators, and then they got stolen overnight. So gators needed breakfast that morning. Gotta give them to them.
Or it could just be that someone picked them up because they smelt like awful.
They did smell awful. So that makes me wonder if every single package had a broken egg.
It could have just been one. If it got hot enough, I mean, those eggs can smell.
Apparently, gators wouldn't worry about it, and there are no wolves.
Someone who
I don't know that. I've
who I
never.
had myself.
Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
I've got chickens, and we don't wash our eggs. We can keep them out on the counter. You had mentioned in a video before that the Europeans, they keep their eggs on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're not washed. And my eggs aren't washed. So if you can find someone that on store-bought eggs and see if you can ship those, they won't go rotten by the time they get to the destination.
That's true. That is true.
And my egg, well, not necessarily my eggs, but backyard grown eggs, the shells are thicker.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from talking about our eggs.
Fine.
Catherine didn't have anything to say there, so.
No, I just like how Greg said my eggs. Like he goes in the backyard.
I didn't say it. Catherine said it.
Like sits on his eggs.
Okay, there you go, Catherine.
Like I just couldn't. Those are his eggs.
What about you, Chris? How do you store your eggs?
Well, the shells on my eggs are really thin, so they definitely wouldn't break if I shipped it.
Okay.
I could just ship it. I could just put a label straight on the egg and it wouldn't break.
All right, mine. I just keep them. I just keep them hanging down there.
That's true. So I wonder if, can you ship food on eBay? Like you can ship Oreos and stuff through Amazon. You can sell like grocery. I don't know what the grocery category is like on eBay. Because Thrifty Treasure was talking in the chat saying that there are coyotes in Texas. I wonder if a coyote would steal your package if it had some tasty, smelly food in it.
I'm sure they would, but I didn't live in an area where there were coyotes. It could have just been a dog, guys. Like, I don't know why they're alligators, wolves. It could have just been like a dog or
Swamp monster.
a swamp monster. That's more likely to happen to me.
That's true. That's true. You're out there. I guess here the weather is mild. Okay, quick question for you guys. Do you have to worry about humidity where you live? I don't. It's dry here.
I mean, I haven't considered it, but I always have my AC running at 75 at the warmest or coldest.
Well, if you know anything about Louisiana, that answer is yes. I would say, let's see if I can check the percentage of humidity.
So do you get like a bad hair day when you go out, Catherine, after like fixing your hair?
I really don't know why I straighten my hair in the morning. Because by the time I step out of my car at school, there's like big waves inside and it's completely pointless, but I do it anyway, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I rock my hair short because I don't have to worry about that long hair.
You should grow your hair out long.
I actually did. I had cornrows at one time.
Wow.
For sure. For real.
Chris,
I had cornrows.
I think that both of you should do a mullet.
I've tried the Asian mullet before.
Why can't it just be a mullet? Why is it the Asian mullet?
Yeah, what's an Asian mullet?
The Asian mullet
It has chopstick up top.
Because the Asian mullet is a more dramatic topic. You know, you should just Google it. It's different.
Chris, would you like to share with everyone what you Googled to find the?
Yes. So guys, I wanted to post a doppelganger on Instagram to drive traffic to this call. So I Googled Asian man candy to find a nice picture to put for myself. Not that that's a common thing that I search, but it popped a great image for me to use to get people to come. So
You better delete your history.
Yep. If you guys are bored later, check out Asian man candy on Google.
In the last, Chris, you're kind of scaring me because in the last video we talked about how you wear the heels you buy.
Yeah, everyone.
And now, now it's Asian man candy.
This is how I learned about kitten heels and pumps and wedges. I have to wear them. How do you even know how to sell them if you don't wear them?
I mean, how else would you ever do that?
Oh, Catherine, Chris even brought it up one time that we like everybody in that mastermind group had all dudes should wear the men rompers, and everybody loved it.
Rompins.
Chris, I need to talk to your girlfriend. Something going on.
Yeah, you should talk to her.
I'm trying to find what the humidity was today.
Catherine's in Google.
North Carolina. Did we lose him?
No, he's there.
Who?
You,
Me?
Greg, yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, what about
What's that temperature there?
the humidity here sucks.
Oh, really?
It's this year wasn't as bad as previous years, but it's pretty high. Like I mean, it's like you're walking through water or taking bites out of the air when you're trying to breathe. It's heavy. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's heavy. It's not fun. And so my packages, I don't have like an outdoor storage unit or anything else like that. They're either in my house and they're in my car only just to get to the post office, but I don't keep them in my trunk or in my car during the day because they'll get like 90, 100 degrees inside my car, and then plus humidity. It's just not a good thing. One of my first packages ever shipped off, I kept in the car for hours, and I had opened it up, and it was damp because the poly had all the moisture in the package had like gone into the poly bag, and it didn't smell right, and it was just. But yeah, the humidity here is not fun. I think it's worse in Louisiana.
How far are you from the ocean?
Right.
How far are you from the ocean?
2 hours. He said it.
2 hours.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
2 hours. Yeah, I'm 2 hours from Myrtle Beach, 4 from the Outer Banks.
I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away from the water. Looks like Ken is pretty landlocked, though.
Yeah, for real. But I'll fly to Florida. Only cost me $95 round trip.
I think average humidity today, it said, was 73%.
All right, guys. Well, it is getting pretty late, and I have to go to eBay tonight. So let's put a couple more questions in the chat. Catherine's doing her best to keep me less serious because most of my things are like educational, and she's like, you need to have a little bit more fun. You can't be so rigid. So trying to make it more fun, but.
How long have we been on?
Hour.
An hour and 7 minutes. We're 7 minutes over, Catherine.
Can you go to Erie Lake? Are you pretty far from Erie Lake?
Me? Yeah, 4 hours.
Oh. Can you swim? People say it's gross.
No, I mean, I haven't been there, but I mean, lake is just, I'm not a big fan of lake. Being born and raised in the Philippines, the beaches there are just like 15, 20 minutes away, and they're like crystal clear. So when I went to Topsail, North Carolina, and as soon as I saw the water there, I was like, oh crap, this looks like a river. So I really didn't get under. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wayne is 6 stores down from the post office. That's cool. Yeah. Guys, all let's talk about the post office. In Australia, their system is totally different. Like they have basically 2 different shipping options for under 6 pounds, like up to 1 pound and then from 1 pound to 6 pounds.
That's great.
Like that makes it easier, kind of. Pretty much everything would fall into the second category.
Yeah.
But that's expensive for clothing people.
Did you guys get a promotion? This will be the last question that we end on today. Did you guys get a promotion for a discounted upgrade on your store?
I don't think so.
People are saying that there's a $30 promo to upgrade to a premium store. I got a coupon on the Husky store to upgrade, $150 to upgrade to the Anchor store. They're like, you're getting up there, you need to do it. And I have an Anchor store. I actually have 2 Anchor stores already, but there's no above that. So
yeah, I got one.
You got it? So you're going to consider doing Anchor? Can you get to 3,000 listings before the end of the year?
Nope, not yet. It's going to be hard because from what I've been hearing, sell-through rate on the Q4 in my category is going to be crazy.
Okay. So you can't keep up.
I won't be able to keep up. Maybe until next year. The only next step really for me to get to that level will be really buying out, become like Marshalls and TJ Maxx, bid on trailers of closeouts. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
for next level to get to that 10,000 listings would be that buying a full tractor trailer of like Nike's past season. So that's my next step. But at the end of the day, if you're paying for that whole tractor trailer, you have to have that enough capital to purchase all of them.
Catherine, when are you upgrading your store to an Anchor store?
What? I don't know. I'm not even remotely close, so calm down. Jeez.
Here he goes, Catherine. He's being serious again.
Yeah, I know. Push on Catherine. No, I think here's one thing I've noticed a lot, though, is that when people put too much emphasis on a store and like, oh, there's basic. Oh, you have a basic store. Then people start, like, they upgrade just for the sake of being able to do a certain amount, and they're paying way too much for what they make.
Yeah, store envy is real.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I don't envy the, what is it, like $300 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't envy that. Chris, that is all you, bud.
I do. I want to write $100,000 check for taxes.
I don't think
I want to do that because I saw that. I saw Ryan Daniel Moran. He wrote a check for $100,000 in taxes. But I mean, that means when you make $1 million, right? You only pay, people who make $1 million or more usually pay 18% in tax. Like, that's amazing because people who make $250,000 pay 40% tax usually because we don't make enough money to figure out all the loopholes. So like at a 7-figure income, he's only writing a check for $100,000, and he just wrote another check for $160,000 because he sold something for a couple million. So it's awesome when you get to that level. I mean, that's still a lot of money going out of your pocket. That's like a Tesla you're giving to the government. But still, I want to pay as many fees as possible if they're granted. I get what you're saying. Like, if I had 200 items in my store, I don't want $300 store.
That's what I mean. Is that like when you start watching big resellers and they, a lot of emphasis get put on the type of store you have. But I honestly think like you shouldn't upgrade until you're out of listings, like until your free listings are done with, and that happens for 2 months in a row or something,
right?
Then it's
a
possibility.
I'd rather buy a sports car, a supercar. I'd rather buy a Ferrari before I pay the government that much money.
Well, you might end up going to jail, bro. You gotta pay taxes. Greg, what's your process on upgrading to the next store?
Probably by December. Well, this thing, I've already hit my 50 item limit on fixed price, and so I'm paying 20 cents insertion fee per item right now, but I'm hit 400 items by the end of this month. I'm probably gonna hit around 350. but I should be at 1,000 item store mid-December if I keep doing 400 a month.
Amazing.
And that's if my sell-through rate drops to 0. I'm maintaining about 1.1 to 1.3% sell-through rate right now. So with 100 listings a week, I should be at 1,000 listings with items selling by December, hopefully.
When did you start?
That's the goal. My first day was June 12th. First sale was June 14th or June 24th. And it took me until September 1st to get to 100 items, and I'm at 260 right now.
You're killing it.
I jumped up like crazy.
You're making me feel bad. Stop. Oh, gosh.
Stop talking about numbers, guys. Getting too serious now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sweating.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, Catherine.
This is a great segue. Greg, why don't you tell people where they can find you on Instagram? Because that chart is super awesome. I made this in Excel. You should print out a couple of those and let's slang them on the internet because people would buy that from you.
So, okay, what this is a basic. This right here is what I use to practice listing and practicing items. And what it is this is a progression. I have it upside down according to my wife, which is okay. But for the first of the month, and then this is day 30 or the 30th of the month. In total, this would be items sourced and listed within a calendar month, and each day, so item to 17 items, and so this is what I'm using right here to practice my listing and figure out where my bottlenecks are. And I just made this in, it's just, that's it. It's really simple. The black and the gold was just to differentiate. It's just the colors I chose, nothing special, but it's just to differentiate the data. So when I look at it, I can see what I did. The silver is, you can see where I started messing up here, but the silver is where I have my make day. So I had to make up listings because I started falling behind on the goal. And then in the margin here is just my notes for what I listed, and I've got added, and I started having to go down this side right here. But I've taken my store from $64 listed to 64 listed just in this month alone. And like I said earlier in the call, I know that I can now do 20 items a day with the time that I have. Sell-through rate doesn't drop, then that'll just increase, and I can start buying higher dollar items. Like I was able to buy a 2015 edition, which is $5, and it retails for $300, and it's going on eBay for $100. So I should be able to at least go from 25 to 100. That'll be my next home run if that sells here soon.
So why don't we tell people where we can find you? Let's start with Greg. Where can people find you? Did we lose you? Where can we find you, Greg?
I'm dryscale _TM on Instagram, and I have a Facebook page called Dryscale as well. Just linked to my my Instagram. So
okay, sounds good.
But I don't have anything else like that.
Guys, also, Catherine, where can people find you?
My Instagram is Catherine's __ closet. Can leave it.
To get a better username, Chris. Come on.
Horrible username.
Oh, God. It's Catherine's 3_ closet. My YouTube channel is Catherine's Closet. No underscores there. You can just search it. And that's about it. And you can find Chris, actually, if you Google Asian man candy.
Yep. I'm every single image on Asian man candy.
At least the haircut.
Ken, where can we find you?
You can find me at Instagram at the Hustle Bee. No underscore.
No underscore and no emoji. No B emoji.
Nope, no emoji.
I wish you could use an emoji in the username. That would be cool, but there isn't.
No. Then Catherine would be like flowers. Catherine, flowers, closet.
Perfect. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out. Follow everybody in the description below, and we'll see you guys next week.